Greetings, Cyberdogs and citizens of the Interpipes. This is ReNDoG coming at ya in another Minecraft episode from the HermitCraft server. We're kicking things off today, my dudes, in the mall of Hermit Island, and I am in the mood to spend some diamonds. Oh baby, take a look at this. A brand new shop has arrived. It's called Bamboozled, and it comes with a really sweet banner that kinda looks like bamboo. That's really awesome. I believe this is a shop that's been set up by Impulse SV, and it sells my new favorite block in Minecraft, scaffolding. I'm over here with an empty shulker box known as scaffoldage, and I'd like to fill this bad boy up. I don't want to worry about scaffolding ever again, and 27 stacks of scaffoldage should probably last us quite a long time, I think. In other good news from Hermit Island, my friends, I am very pleased to announce that the log business has been doing exceptionally well. Looks like a ton of hermits have been needing a bunch of wood out there in Hermitville, and that means that Big Logs Incorporated has been profiting something fierce. Nice! Now, last episode, we threw up a magnificent anti-raid wall over at Hermitville, and I thought in today's episode, we could start a brand new project out there. Hence why I've gotten all of the scaffoldage. We're going to be setting up our very own house in Hermitville, but I got some plans to make it much more than just a humble house. It's going to be absolutely awesome, but we do need to get ourselves a ton of resources for this build, so let's make a quick pit stop over here in our spiraling storage system of awesomeness. My fellow Minecrafters, I cannot stress enough how much easier this game is when you have a fully functioning auto-sorting storage facility. Oh man, I have now collected every single block that we're going to need for today's build. It is going to be so sweet, man. Can't wait to start placing down some blocks. But before we do that, guys, there is actually something inside of our storage facility that I wanted to show you. This week, I have been hard at work on a brand new partition over here in the storage spiral. Excuse me, zombie, I'm trying to record an episode of Minecraft. Do you mind? Please get wrecked. I thank you. Rotting idiot dispatched, and where was I? Oh yes, take a look at this, guys. We are now storing a bunch of the new slabs, walls, and stairs that we get in Minecraft 1.14, and I'm actually really excited about this part of the storage facility because I'm going to be making a lot of use of these particular blocks here, and I don't want to clog up my system with this. So this week I've spent a bunch of hours getting this partition set up. It is all automatically sorting over here, and it is connected, of course, to the rest of the storage facility. So any of those slabs and stairs we chuck into this bad boy will now get collected here in this partition. Now, during the live stream, guys, I actually facepalmed something fierce while setting up this section of our storage facility, and that's because I made this partition lower than the next partition in the chain. And that means we had to find a way to make the items go up so that they could continue their way along the hopper chain and down the spiral of our sorting system. But with the help of some very smart redstone brains in chat, we did manage to figure it out. And the way that we're doing this over here is using a little bit of a hopper clock looking at a dispenser. And when items go into that dispenser, they trigger a redstone pulse, which triggers the dispenser around the back. And the items get flushed up a bubble vapor and then sent across over the hoppers so that they can join the hopper chain again, and those items can then continue on their way through the storage facility. But yeah, next time I add a partition, I need to make sure that the partition after it is lower than the new partition I'm adding, if that makes any sense at all. Oh man, I'm actually kind of excited to get over to Hermitville today, guys. Looks like Grian is doing a little bit of work out there in the village, and I now have all of the resources that I need for today's build, as well as some diamond armor, because I have a feeling we're going to be fighting a couple of raids throughout the afternoon. I do need to travel quite far, though, to get to Hermitville, guys. And while I do this, I tell you what, why don't we catch up with our favorite hippie, ReNDoG? Because apparently, we're not the only ones moving out to Hermitville. ReNDoG, what are you up to, my dude?
Hey man, this is Ren Bibbidi Bob with another very important public service announcement, man. Over the last few weeks, man, The Hermit Hippie Collective has been monitoring the environmental stability of this lake, man. And we are very happy to announce, man, that all the lovely little critters and creatures are starting to repopulate the area, man. And it looks like our protest has resulted in some really good environmental cleanup around here, man. We've also sold enough sandals of solidarity, man, to finally fix the gasket of the van that we blew when we got here, man. So that's also really good news, man. But unfortunately for the Hermit Hippie Collective, man, it looks like sales have started to dry up, man. And that's probably because all of the people that used to live here, man, have seemed to move over to some other village all the way out in the blue yonder, man. So the time has finally come, man, to get in the van and move on to the next destination, because there's always some environmental issues that need to be solved, man. And yeah, these sandals ain't gonna sell themselves, man, so it looks like it's time for a bit of road tripping with the ReNDoG, man. Let's put on some tunes. Let's get on the road. Imagine there's no sludge, man. I wonder if you can, man. No sludge below us, man. Above us only sky. Imagine all the hermits, man, living life in peace. Oh, 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 man. Well, this looks like a wonderful place to set up the new headquarters of the Hermit Hippie Collective, man. And just like I suspected, we got a lot of people living out here, man. And we gotta make sure the environment is protected around here, man. And hopefully the civilians that live here will support the cause and buy some sandals of solidarity, because as you can see, we actually blew another gasket, man, and we're kinda out of gas already, man. But yeah, we gotta make sure there's no more sludge around here, man. And it also looks like we might have had another hippie moving out here to Hermitville, man. This is so good to see another camper van in town. And maybe we can get together around a campfire sometime and tell some stories of solidarity and nature and stuff like that, man. This is so awesome. The Hermit Hippie Collective is now set up to protect the environmental stability of Hermitville, man. And I can't wait to meet all of the civilians here, and maybe we can sell them some sandals and stuff like that, man, because we really do need a little bit more gas money, and we're gonna need a new gasket and stuff like that, man. This is ReNDoG signing out, man. It's been a really long journey of road tripping, and I need to get myself a little bit of sleep over here, man. I'll put myself some records on and maybe listen to some music and stuff, man. But no, you may say I'm a dreamer, man, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, man. Buy some sandals and solidarity, man, because we blew another gasket, man. And the world will live as one, man. Don't forget about the dream catchers, man, because we could really use some new change out here, man. We blew another gasket and we need to get a bit more gas in the van. But no more sludge! No more sludge! No more sludge!
Things certainly have livened up, so to speak, here in Hermitville, guys. Since we were last here building a wall, it looks like there has been some sort of population explosion of green villages. What the heck is this? There are greens all over the place. Look at this. This is absolutely insane. We've got a couple of iron golems here too, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, looks like Green has done a great job repopulating the village. It's going to maybe compete a little bit with villages that we captured with Stress Monster last episode. But yeah, we're back in Hermitville, guys. I am wearing full diamond armor because the last time I was out here, we had to fight off 4 raids at the same time, and this time I am ready to rumble, baby. This is Sahara Street, and Iskal has done an amazing job on this road over here. Isn't this beautiful? This road travels past, well, Grian, Mumbo, Stress, and Iskal's house over here. I guess that's why it's called Sahara Street, and all the way at the end of the street is a Sahara shop, which is actually kind of awesome. First shop open here in Hermitville. Shall we take a quick look what's for sale? We got rockets, 1 diamond for 2 stacks. That is kind of pricey compared to Hermit Island. Golden carrots also, 3 diamonds a stack. My goodness. And, well, we've got a super derptastic Mumbo automaton over there. Is that the shopkeeper? There's some more sales upstairs. Let's have a look at what's cracking over here. We got iron ingots, we got sand, grass blocks, wood logs. Wood logs. Hello? Wood logs? This is in direct competition with Big Logs Incorporated, although they are selling them for 2 diamonds per stack, so twice the price of what you can get at Big Logs. We've also got some stone, glass, andesite, gravel, shulker boxes, glowstone. My goodness, man, the Sahara boys making the most of Hermitville out here. Very nice. Also, it is raining and it is nighttime, which means it is sleep time. And thank you, Scar, for sleeping. That actually helps me a lot. I was about to enter panic mode. In other Hermitville news, my friends, looks like ReNDoG has set up his camper van / business out here in Hermitville. He's blown another gasket in his van, which is unfortunate for him, but he might be able to make a few diamonds out here if any of the hermits want to buy some sandals and whatnot. But camper van looking good. In fact, I think this is probably where we're going to be sleeping, actually, because it's kind of comfy in there, you know. It's a lovely little camper van, and it's traveled literally thousands of blocks to get here. Hopefully ReNDoG can get some sales so that he can fix the van again before he has to move out of here. But that's pretty cool. Hermitville coming to life. My dudes, we have got a ton more work to do in today's episode because my plan for the rest of the episode is to start working on our house. Now, my original plan for this area was to create a nice little house over here and connect it to this house on the other side. But you know what, guys? We are going to go big or we're going to go home here in Hermitville. And I've got a much better plan for this little area. Shall we pop into a creative world for some sketchage action? Heck yeah, baby! Boop! Welcome back to my creative test world, guys, and take a look at what the ReNDoG's been cooking up this week. Oh, baby, it is looking absolutely awesome, isn't it? We are not going to be creating a house out there in Hermitville. Oh no, my friends, we are going to be creating a fortified castle designed to protect those little greens, wrens, and stress monsters from those nasty, smelly pillagers. Now, the idea for this fortress is as follows, my friends. Our house is actually at one of the highest points in Hermitville, and what I thought is we could take advantage of that. During our battles with the pillagers so far on the server, what I have discovered is that sometimes a bunch of those pillagers are actually in the village, and it's kind of hard to see them because of all the houses and stuff around. So, if we can build a fortification that gives us access to all 4 corners of Hermitville, we can sit up here with the bow and very safely take out those pillagers from afar. What I'd also like to do with this particular fortress is, I don't know, maybe do something with the center of it. At the moment, there's absolutely nothing in here, but this might be a great place for us to store some of our stress monster and ReNDoG villages for future repopulation of Hermitville, or something like that. I still have a little bit of work to do with the block variation of the building, but this is going to be the initial design for our Hermitville fortress. And we now need to shape out a 23 by 23 block area, because even though this is a compact castle, it's actually kind of big. So let's get back on the HermitCraft server. It's about 20 past 11 at night for me right now, guys, and this is usually the time of day that I start to unwind, try to get away from the computer and get ready to catch some shut-eye. But I gotta be honest, I'm having a ton of fun doing this Hermitville fortress build over here. Just finished laying down the footprint of this castle, and it's a little bit bigger than I anticipated. I had to take down 3 of the houses, and we're actually encroaching on one of the houses over here too, which may need to come down also, unfortunately. Hopefully that's not going to be too bad for the other hermits over here. I know that we've been trying to keep to the village design, but the way that I have sketched out this castle is that I think it is actually going to match this village quite nicely. But let's take a look at the footprint itself. It's absolutely massive, isn't it? My goodness. And I've got some scaffolding going on over here too. 20 blocks high, 23 by 23 is the size of the fortress over here, or it's a little bit smaller than that, but I want to keep the scaffolding on the outside so I can get up and down quite easily. Next step for me, though, is to start working on the actual turrets themselves. And generally, when I work on builds like this in Minecraft, what I like to do is complete them one layer at a time. This is kind of a vertically layered build, and because it's completely symmetrical, it's going to be rather simple to get the foundation blocks down. Now, what I also like to do when I work on builds like this in Minecraft is to build the initial design in 1 or 2 blocks only, and then to do the block variation afterwards. It may seem a little bit counterintuitive, as of course it means that I'm basically building the thing twice, But when it comes to block variation, I like to see the build in its entirety before I start deciding where the different types of blocks are going to go. So for example, if we're having a look at this turret, we might want to change these blocks to bricks and get some mossy bricks in them. But when we can see the entire fortress in situation, right, here in the village with all of the different houses and all of the environment around it, it kind of helps to inspire block variation also. For example, there might be a part over here that is close to a forest or something that might mean we need to have a little bit more mossy cobblestone or something like that. That is not really relevant to this particular design, but that's the kind of thinking. I want the environment to decide what block variation I use in my builds. Anyway, it means I have to spend a few more hours doing building, but hey, I love nothing more in the world than playing Minecraft, so really doesn't bother me. So the construction of Hermit Fortress is relatively straightforward, guys, so I thought we would do something a bit special here for this part of the episode, and instead of placing the blocks together, let's watch this epic time lapse of the castle construction and have a quick chat about our current goals here on the HermitCraft server in Season 6. Our first major project, which has basically been our project for the majority of the season, is of course the Hermit Railway Network. And I'm getting really excited about this project, guys, because we're getting rather close to finishing the entire thing off. And as it is probably my most ambitious project ever on the HermitCraft server, I am desperate to get this bad boy finished. Now, the good news for the HRN project, guys, is that we don't actually have that much more to do, although there are still a number of stations that need to get built. I think we could probably get those stations built relatively quickly, though, and whether that's through the help of some other hermits on the server or if we just do it ourselves, we've got about 3 or 4 stations still to do and 1 more line to complete, which is in the industrial district. But the one thing that I'm very worried about is going to be the redstone for those stations. We need to install the junction redstone into all of the remaining stations, which in my mind is probably going to take the longest because, well, I'm not the best at redstone, and I don't know, maybe I'll have a chat with Iskal and maybe he'll help me out on that one. But once we've got all those stations and all that redstone done, oh man, the HRN is going to be open for business, baby. And of course, as you guys know, we've been spending a ton of time in the Fantasy District working on our Dragonstone base. And that is going to be my second major project I'll be focusing on for the next few months on the HermitCraft server. I am very keen to get working once again on our brewing facility tower, which we started a few episodes ago. I want to get that bad boy finished up. And then I've got some really awesome ideas to add to our Dragonstone base, including finishing off the underground section of our base, like our storage facility and our auto smelter and all of that sweet jazz. And I've got another couple of amazing ideas that I want to build on top of the base, which is going to tie in very nicely with all of the dragon stuff that we have been installing out there over the last few episodes. Other than those 2 massive projects, guys, there are a couple of other awesome community-focused things going on the HermitCraft server that I definitely want to be involved in. So I'll be keeping a close eye on what's going on around the HermitCraft server. But for now, my dudes, we're going to be focusing on the HRN and the Dragonstone base. And I hope to see as many of you guys as possible joining me for those projects because, man, we still have so much Minecrafting to do here this season. And I just cannot wait. I got some good news, everybody. The ReNDoG has a new girlfriend. And her name is Scaffolding Block. Oh, she is so beautiful. Look at her. Welcome back to the castle, guys. It's the next day in real life, and I am super excited to show you the progress that I made late last night on Hermitville Fortress. There's still quite a bit of work to do on this bad boy, but I am very happy with the progress that we have made today, and I am most happy about this new little mechanism that I am using in the castle to get up and down the protection spires of the fortress. We're using the scaffolding blocks as a ladder system inside of the fortress, which I think is actually really sweet. It means that you are able to run a ladder straight up the middle of a circular build like this instead of having a weird traditional Minecraft ladder system, and I really like that. So from up here on the towers of the fortress, we get an absolutely amazing 360 view of Hermitville, and this is going to allow us to defend the town from any angle. And of course, we can use a bow for this. If we can hit that bell without hitting one of the villagers, that would be ideal. Villagers, you are really close to the bells. Little greens, Please move. Oh, these little greens be dicing with death right now, guys. Can we hit that bell? Nice, we hit it. Now, for the last part of today's episode, guys, there's one more thing I would like to add into the fortress, and that is, of course, some bells, which I'd like to add into these positions on top of the towers. The bells are super important when defending raids in 1.14 because when you ring the bell, it actually shows the location of the pillagers, and I think that's going to be a really good way for us to defend the village from up here. Whenever we need to figure out where the pillagers are, I want to be able to ring a bell in each of these towers. However, that means we need to find ourselves a couple more villagers out there in the open, because the only way that you can get bells in Minecraft 1.14 is from villagers themselves. And well, I know the location of one village, which is pretty close to Hermitville. I think it's all the way over here. And boom, there's the first one that we need. Let's just put that one into the inventory. Nice. So 1 out of 3 bells found. However, the sun has gone down. So I think for the sake of these villagers out here, I need to sleep. Do I have a bed? Yes, I do. Don't worry, villagers. The ReNDoG's got you. Half an elytra and thousands of blocks traveled later, and I've managed to pillage 4 bells from some villagers I found out there in the blue yonder, guys. And I gotta say, I really love the way that bell looks in our fortress tower. Also, it makes a really sweet sound. Oh man, that is absolutely epic. I do have one slight niggle with the bell though, and hopefully this is something that will change in future updates, but for some reason we can't dangle bells from fences, which is a little bit annoying. I think it would look so awesome if we could stick a bell at the end of a fence. Instead, we've got to stick those bells on a solid block like that, which isn't the end of the world, but I think it would have looked so much cooler if it was dangling from a fence post or something. But yeah, we want to add a bell to each of our towers over here, so wherever we are defending the village when a pillager raid comes in, we will be able to hit the bell and see where those pillagers are in the village. So hopefully this is going to help out in the defense of Hermitville in the future. Well guys, we've made a lot of progress here on Hermit Fortress in this episode, and as much as I would like to continue with this build, it is time for me to say goodbye and get this episode edited for you. We've still got a bit of work to do on this bad boy, which I think we'll probably do in the next episode, or I might just finish it off camera. We'll see how it goes, but I really am enjoying this particular project. Hope you guys have enjoyed it too, and I do hope that the citizens of Hermitville, including ReNDoG over there, likes what has popped up in the middle of the town here. My friends, if you have enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to smack that like button like a nobody's business. And if you have not subscribed yet, well, I would very much appreciate it if you considered hitting that subscribe button so you can keep up with this series and all of the other awesome series on my channel. My dudes, from Hermitville, this is ReNDoG signing out. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, we'll smell you all in the next episode.